would you do for love? Would you buy them expensive gifts? Would you jump in front of a train for them? Would you spend an entire month of your life making an exact replica of their signature weapon that works out to be 6 feet tall? Because that's my love language. I have a very healthy obsession with a game called Love in Deep Space. All the girls I know are playing it right now. I haven't seen my boyfriend in 3 months. At its core, it's a romance game where you interact with a bunch of handsome guys through the storyline and combat, but you can also play dress up, decorate his room, collect plushies, and play kitty cards, basically Magic the Gathering light. There are 5 love interests in total, but right now we only care about 1 of them. My favorite character is Silas. He ticks all the boxes. He's a mafia boss. He's also part dragon. He has a mechanical raven. I know this man is perfect, but if I can't have him in real life, then I want the next best thing, which is his sick dragon sword called the Fiend Reaper. Just look at how sexy this sword is. Look at it! This lava rock crackly looking texture. These blood red gems that look like candy. The entire sword glowing, pulsing with fiendish energy. Also, it's freaking huge! This thing's taller than me. I need to make this thing right now to profess my undying love. And it's not weird. It's very normal. Step 1, paper pattern. Oh my god, it's huge! Wait, it's actually as tall as me. Okay, imagine like this, but not so limp. And now we move this onto this. I normally make my props out of EVA foam, but I'm gonna try something new this time. This stuff here is plastizote foam, and it's gonna let me light this sword up like a friggin' Christmas tree. Because this is what EVA foam does to light, and this is what plastizote does to light. Now the light's able to shine through the foam, and it even gets this soft, diffused look.
Time for math.
I don't use calculators, they use computers. You high on pot in this? 39.59. Is that either gonna be correct or incredibly wrong?
Questionable math is the only kind of math I do. I know, how very non-Asian of me. So I just committed and sliced up the foam. Now that we have all the base pieces of the blade cut out of foam, we can go ahead and make the world's most toxic sandwich. The bread of the day is foam. The sauce of the day is forbidden caramel. May I recommend our chef's specialty? A side of cat fur. Wonderful choice. Our forbidden caramel glue is called Barge, and it's the only contact cement I'll use because Barge will never give you up and Barge will never let you down. We're gonna have to make some room on the inside of the foam so that we can put this PVC pipe inside, and hopefully that gives it enough structure. Since the sword is basically hollow, I had to make a little foam box so the pipe wouldn't just roll around in there. It also prevents the sword from getting flattened like a pancake. Ah! I dropped the bottle super glue! Oh my god! No way! Wait, you're kidding! Oh my god! Oh god, I'm sweating! It's time to glue! Time to glue! Ah! Oh, it's so drippy! You're zooming in, I swear to god. Lights! I'm gonna put an ungodly amount of lights in this sword. I want it to glow like a lot, like, you know. I tunneled out a little bit of space in the foam so that I can put these lights face down because light strips have these little LED bumps, so I wanted to make little room so that it can actually lie flat. It's gonna be lit. When I come back! You still love me? Are you gonna help me with the wiring?
What do you think, Pals?
I don't wanna do the math.
But I'm bad at math.
You're an engineer. Okay, you got me. I was putting off soldering because I hate how tiny the parts are. I've been practicing all morning because I'm nervous. Like, oh boy, I love getting molten metal near my fingertips and working on parts that are the size of literal rice grains. Wow. Oh, professional. Then it was time to turn on the lights for the first time. This is always such a butt-clenchy moment because if the lights don't turn on, it could mean hours or days of troubleshooting. So everybody clench.
It didn't work.
No!
Random backtick in my code.
It was a rogue backtick! What if it's still not the backtick?
That was the test with just 3 LEDs. This is from my computer right now, so I can't talk.
Holy! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's a lot of light! Wait, I want to see it from the... Oh, the looks cool.
Is it actually going?
Yeah, it's going through. So the electronics are mostly sorted at this point, and now I have to work on the handle. And I need to turn this mess of PVC pipes into, to be honest, I don't really know what this is supposed to be. Some kind of dragon, monster, rock texture. I did think about 3D printing it, but I just feel like this should be more organic looking, and so I'm gonna use foam clay because it's gonna be super imperfect, and I think that's kind of the right vibe we're going for. I don't really have any specific techniques for working with foam clay, unless you count squishing it around in your fingers and grabbing whatever objects are within arm's reach. Now around here, I decided I wanted the handle to be thicker, so I thought I would just wrap it in some foam and shove it inside a thicker tube, which sounds pretty simple, right? Too good a job, it's too snug. After I was done sculpting, I was so happy with how the handle looked, so I set it down and let it dry overnight. But once the clay dried, it puffed up a lot and it kind of looked like the Michelin Man. So I just used a box cutter and a Dremel to get the edges sharp again. Not a big deal, just kind of annoying.
Okay, I'm ready, look.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's close up this foam sandwich, top and bottom, and all the side pieces. So I started gluing down the top of the sword and cut out some angled pieces for the sides of the blade. Everything was going well, until I made a terrible mistake. One that I'll remember and regret for the rest of my life. I cheated on my beloved barge! At some point I started worrying if you'd be able to see the yellow color of the barge from outside the sword, so I switched over to this clear spray-on contact cement, and it was so hard to work with. It didn't hold that well. It was menacingly sticky. Ew! And I'm sorry, barge. I'm sorry. Please come back. Think of all the good times we've had together. What are little Barge Jr. and I gonna do without you? Anyways, at least beveling the edges was a good idea. For most of the sword, this worked really well, but when I got to the curved areas, the bevels weren't beveling, so I decided to glue flat panels up against the sword and then just sand them down. Now about those draconic, lava rock looking shards on the actual sword, I've been crafting all sorts of things for D&D games, from monsters to terrain, and a super popular material in the tabletop crafting world is this pink insulation foam that you can get from most hardware stores. This kind of foam is much harder than EVA foam, so it retains details super well. They also sell them in humongous sheets for like 25 bucks, so it's much more affordable. The way this is the most organized I've ever been in my entire life. Now at this point I was getting so excited because I was like, cool, all I have to do is add these little finger looking details out of more foam clay, put on some paint, and we're done, right? Like, it's looking so good. But you might have noticed that while we put 300 lights inside the sword, there has been no mention of where we're gonna put a battery. And that's because I completely forgot that I have to find room for the battery. Okay, we have a problem. Since the sword uses so many LEDs, we have to use a pretty chunky battery pack to power everything. And I thought I was so smart, and I made this little box out of foam that sits on top of the handle. So my thinking was that we could slip this battery pack in, and it's super snug, and it technically works really well. It's just so chunky that I don't think I can disguise this and blend it into the sword handle naturally. So I think I'm gonna take it off actually, and I think we're gonna try and hide the battery pack somewhere else, maybe inside the blade of the sword. Just shame though. I mean, look at how nice and snug this battery pack fits in. Oh, are you kidding me? Like, I made it, I made it so nice, and now we have to take it out. Okay, it's okay. Let's just rip the band-aid off. Oh. Okay, well, that's not cute, but we can fix it with some more foam clay. We cut a little panel here out of the side that is removable, and then I can slip the battery pack inside. I'm scared! I don't want to cut into it, and like, what if it doesn't work? It's gonna look stupid! Okay, we're doing it, we're doing it. We have to try something. I have to cut this out in like one nice panel too. Say ah. Okay, we'll go that way. Ah! There's no room! It doesn't fit! Ah! I think I just have to rip the side panel out. and redo the entire left side. I'm just procrastinating because I really don't want to do it. Luckily, I had a little bit of plastizote foam left over, so I was able to extend the width of the sword just so it perfectly fits the battery. The only tricky thing here is that I can't permanently glue this area shut because I need to be able to replace the battery. Sometimes it feels like every time you solve a problem, a new one pops up, but you know, if you keep solving enough problems, eventually you'll have made a thing. Okay, I figured it out because the answer to everything is hot glue, and if it's not hot glue, then it's Velcro. So I made this nice little Velcro panel so that we can shove all the electronics like the battery and the microcontroller and all that stuff in there. And then we have this nice little panel that just Velcros shut. So I'm gonna put some more foam clay on this side and then slice it through so that hopefully that's nice and disguised in there. With all the structural stuff out of the way, it was finally time to make these beautiful scarlet, juicy fruit gusher looking gems. I think resin is the best way to make gems like this. Nothing will even come close to that kind of transparency and shine. So a huge thank you to Formlabs for sending me their Form 4 resin printer. This is my first resin printer ever and I feel so spoiled. Setup was super intuitive. It's so easy to use. It prints with such speed and accuracy. This thing is just so thoughtfully designed. And it's now officially my most valuable possession, so if I get robbed, please take anything but the printer. I've just barely scratched the surface with what this printer can do, but I will leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. I colored the gems with alcohol ink, but this is the most important step, glossy top coat. Watch this. Ooh! Just look at that. You can't tell me you don't want to put this forbidden fruit gusher in your mouth. I printed some other small parts on my Prusa, and you won't believe this, but I forgot something else. I forgot to make these little fingers that stick out of the handles, so we did that real quick with some more foam clay. Can I help you? I did prime the entire sword with some Cosflex mixed with water because sometimes foam can absorb a lot of paint and make it look really blotchy. Oh, that's squeaky. Hear that? It's like... I'm actually kind of nervous that after I paint it, you're not gonna see the light shine through the paint. Oh. It's kind of giving ketchup. See, I feel like mine's too red-orange, and this is kind of leaning purple. Okay, this is what I was spraying before. And I think we want to be more like in this range. Okay, it's better. That's better. You see, it's got like more purple instead of ketchup. This is good. But I'm out of red paint, so gotta get more tomorrow.
The next day.
I'm still pretty new to airbrushing, and this whole time I was using these itty bitty bottles of airbrush paint that are for like miniatures, like for D&D and stuff. And I went to the art store and they make so many more colors in bigger bottles, and they're cheaper, and there's just like so many finishes, and I'm like, oh, wait. You can't even see. Hold on. Oh my god! Oh my god! This way. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, it doesn't. Hold on. The ceiling's not tall enough. Wait. I need to do this. I can't stand up. I have to carry it like this. Well, that's why video game characters carry their swords like this. We're going to the convention tomorrow, so I'll show you guys what this looks like when we're there. I officially called the sword done at 11 p.m. the night before the convention. I really underestimated how putting in a few hundred LED lights would make this build more complicated, but I was wrong. I made so many mistakes throughout this project. It was much harder than I expected, but it's okay. That's just what we do for love. The next morning, I snoozed through 10 alarms, rushed to get into cosplay, and then finally made it to Anime Expo in the early afternoon. Some of you might remember that last year it was a close call at weapons check. I made a 7-foot cannon from Kaiju number 8 that came in at just 4 inches under the size limit. They almost didn't let me in. But this year, they didn't even take out the measuring tape. So what did we learn about convention rules? 6 feet in one direction? No problem. 6 feet in all directions? Problem. Once we got inside, I rushed to the Love and Deep Space booth to show Silas the beautiful weapon that I made for him. He thought it was amazing, so we're getting married, and his bird thought it was really cool too. I spent the rest of the day collecting all the Love and Deep Space related cosplayers that I saw, and it was so fun. Everyone was so nice and so cute. I'm so proud of how this turned out. There's just something about a giant weapon that glows. It just hits different, and I can't wait to make more.
What are you doing?
I'm getting married. Look how dapper he looks. Ah!
Ah!
Subscribe!